right, City of Forest Park City Council meeting number 1411. Today is February 20th. The time is a little bit after 8 p.m. We're going to start by standing and saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. On the agenda, we are going to start with the roll call. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Adams, Brown,
Here.
Clark, Harrison,
Here.
Holt, Moore,
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
Okay. I need a motion to excuse council members Clark and Adams.
A motion to excuse Councilmember Adams, Councilmember Holt, and Councilmember Clark.
Second.
All right. Thank you for that. It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none. All right, so moving on to item number 2, which is the minutes. Has every member received the council minutes? Are there any changes or adjustments to be made?
None here.
Okay, hearing none. That includes item number 2. Item number 3 is presentations, and we're going to start with the first, which is a proclamation for the month of February, which is known as African American History Month. So we're going to read this proclamation in full. All right, so City of Forest Park proclamation, whereas African American History Month is observed annually during the month of February throughout the United States of America, and whereas today's African American History Month has its beginnings in 1893 when at the Chicago World's Fair, Colored American Day was observed. Later, Negro History Week was observed in February 1926 through the efforts of Dr. Carter G. Woodson, honored as the father of Black Studies, and following with Black History Month in February of 1965 through the guidance of Robert Starling Pritchard, who was a pianist and composer. And whereas the efforts of nonprofit organizations, including those in Forest Park, their officers, members, and friends to sponsor events throughout the community promoting African American life and history during the observance of African American History Month is to be commended. And whereas the acknowledgement of the constructive contributions of African American scholars, businesses, and institutions provides inspiration for the entire community. And whereas African American residents of Forest Park have made meaningful contributions in this community as well as throughout the state of Ohio and the nation, now therefore I, Aaron Brown, Mayor of the City of Forest Park, do hereby proclaim February 2023 as African American History Month and urge all members of our community to join in the recognition of this most significant occasion celebrating harmony and unity. Okay, so that concludes that. And then we're going to move on to another presentation, which it is our pleasure to do the oath of office for Officer Jason Hogg. So I think Jason is here today. And Chief, do you want to read a few words before we go ahead and do the swearing in? Thank you.
First of all, good evening, and it is my pleasure to be here with you all tonight, and it's especially my pleasure because over the last probably 12 months, the police department has seen a reduction in some of our personnel. This is an unusual time in our country for employment across the board, and law enforcement has definitely seen a decline in the applicant pool when it comes to seeking qualified police officers.
Keep going. You're not connected to the system somehow.
So we are now at a point where we are very glad to be able to start filling our ranks again. And tonight, I'd like to introduce Jason Hogg. Jason is 26 years old. He comes to us from the Butler County Sheriff's Department. Prior to that, he worked for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department. And he's a graduate of the Greene County Police Academy. And he is here tonight with his girlfriend, Tara, and his son, Grayson. And he's also joined by Bill and Linda Hogg, his grandparents. Aaron and Amanda Cole, an aunt and an uncle. Adam Hogg, an uncle. And Cindy and Jack Carnes, his mother and father-in-law. And this is always a special occasion for us because this is an opportunity for City Council to meet the newest police officer. And you usually get to see some of our already active police officers because they're very supportive of the new officers coming in. So if I could have Jason step forward along with whoever is going to pin his badge, and then I'll invite the mayor to do the oath of office for them. And Mayor, if it's okay, we'll just do it right in front of the Forest Park symbol.
Who's gonna do your pinning?
For the mayor to do the proclamation, or to do this oath first. So,
Okay. All right, so raise your hand, right hand, repeat after me. So then I'll say I and you state your name. So I,
Jason Hogg,
all right, do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio,
the Charter of the Municipality of Forest Park, Ohio,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially discharge the duties as
impartially discharge the duties as
a police officer.
a police officer.
All right, congratulations, Mr. Hall.
Thank you, sir.
All right, family, if anybody wants to get up here and take pictures, now's the time to do it. Come on. Yeah, come on. If you want to get in the picture, we'll take it for you.
Wanna say cheese here, oh man. I see you nothing to do. Yeah, it's too late.
Here, Mom, I can always, or I mean, I can send you pictures, Mom, take one of those. You guys get right there. All here. All of you. You too. Come on.
I know.
Smile, Grayson. Smile, Grayson. There.
Congratulations.
All right, if anybody would like to make any remarks from council, because I can start. First of all, I do want to thank Mr. Hogg for making this commitment to the city of Forest Park. It's not lost on any of us, the time, the dedication, the sacrifice that you have to make, and we appreciate you joining this, illustrious police force under the wonderful guidance of our chief. I mean, I'm a little biased, but you could not have joined a better police force. But I would also be remiss if I did not mention that we appreciate how the family is making the same sacrifice. And we love to see the pinning ceremony. This is one of the favorite parts of our job, to see our officers come out with their families and to be celebrated for this incredible dedication that they are undertaking. But also, we know how hard it is. We know how hard it can be, and we are here to support you in whatever capacity that you need. So we do thank you. We thank you for all of your sacrifice. But also, if there's anything that you need from us, don't be afraid to hesitate. Don't hesitate to ask. That's actually why we do this. This is actually why we do this. We get to serve, and we love to serve, and we see that you are serving the community as well. And we have a very community-oriented police force. So I love when officers bring their families out. I love when they do the pinning ceremony. I love to see it. So you protect and serve us. So we are here to serve you. So just let us know anything that you need, and we appreciate you. Any other members?
Well said, Mayor.
Yeah.
Well said, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'll say something really quick. Officer Hogg, welcome to the team. Welcome to the city of Forest Park, and to the family of Officer Hogg. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'll speak for self. I got your back. All right, just like every officer in this city, we got your back. So whatever you need from us, please ask. And you drive by my house, I'll wave at you and invite you in for a cup of water or something. Self speaking for self. So.
All right, thank you. So at this time, we're going to continue to get into the nitty-gritty. You are welcome to stay, but I know everybody came for Officer Hogg. So if you want to slide out, unless you want to stay, you see how, the sausage is made. But we thank everybody for coming.
Right. Take care.
All right. Okay. Looks like we have the next item is still in presentation. So we have another presentation from Energy Alliance. So yeah. Okay. Right.
Hey.
All right.
I feel kind of bad. I'd stand up and everybody leaves. Get a complex or something.
If you want to drag this presentation out, right? Feel free.
Okay. All right. I'll do my best. It's always a treat to come and talk to you tonight. We'd like to kind of update you on the city's energy aggregation program. As you probably remember, in 2019, we had a ballot initiative that was passed by the residents of Forest Park that allowed the city to develop an energy aggregation program. In 2020, we signed a contract, an electric energy contract with Constellation for a 3-year fixed rate. In my opinion, that contract did exactly what it was supposed to do. There were 2 goals in our aggregation program. There are 4, but there's 2 primary goals in any aggregation program. One is to try to lower the rate for our residents. Okay, and over the last 2.5 years, the program has saved the city of Forest Park, or the residents as a total aggregate, almost $1 million in energy costs. So that's substantial savings. The average account, we think, will be around $250 of savings in their electrical bill. So that's pretty impressive. It also, though, not only do we want to kind of lower the rate if we can, really I've learned that the primary thing is to stabilize energy costs. Over the last, as we all know, over the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, energy rates have just been crazy. They've been going up, they've been going down. Last year, natural gas prices, or 2 years ago, just spiked. It just caught everybody off guard. We tried very hard last year to catch up with the rate increases, and we just never could quite get ahead of it. But fortunately, we signed a contract in October for natural gas, so we have a fixed rate for 2 years at 83 cents per cubic foot of natural gas. It's not going to go any higher. And right now, over the last 3 months, we have been lower than the Duke energy rates. So far, so good with that. But our electric aggregation program has been very successful, but it's coming to an end. Our first contract is coming to an end in June. That'll be the end of the 3 years. So we've had our energy consultants, Energy Alliances Incorporated, they have been researching over the last several months, trying to put together a package that would be favorable for the city. And we have today, or tonight, Dan Deters. He works with Energy Alliance. We've been on the phone with him several times. He's been updating us on what's going on. The electric rates are very volatile, apparently, now. He's going to kind of he's going to give you a kind of an update of why, and hopefully he'll be able to answer whatever questions you might have. But we want to sign a contract if we can get the right rates, so that when June comes, we can then seamlessly move on to the next contract. Okay? So without any further ado, Dan, if you would like to come up and give them a little bit more history about the rates and answer whatever questions.
Sure. I've done a lot of these meetings over the last 8 months. You'll get used to people walking out on you. Right. Trust me, I've had thousands of people walk out before I start talking. I have to get a therapist. So basically what's going on is there was Duke, the utility, has what they call capacity auctions. And the first one was in November of last year. And what that essentially is how much you can put on the grid, and they auction that off. They auctioned off the first 20% of it in I think it was either late October, early November. They're kind of running together for me now. But that being said, that one came back at about 11.5 cents a kilowatt hour, which is essentially nearly 3 times what Forest Park was paying in this prior 3-year contract. So there's another one coming up, but Energy Alliances and our analysts believe that with that first 20% in there, we don't think the Duke rate is going to get lower than about between 9 and 9.5 cents for the regular end user that is not an aggregation. So what we're doing now is we've been going around to communities and we've been pricing them individually. It's kind of lucky that that we have so many customers that it's kind of we're the person buying in bulk for the communities, so we're making those decisions. So your neighbor, Springfield Township, signed theirs, I believe, last Thursday or Friday at 6.74 cents a kilowatt hour. Now it's going up, but it's not going through the roof. So if we stopped the program altogether, people will be paying whatever that 9+ cent number is. So it's important to have a seamless transition into the new program. Now we're only asking for a 2-year contract this time. The last time we did a 3-year contract because there are so many things out on the horizon. I could come back to you in 4 months and say, hey, we can sign something. If there's a price dip, I can come back and we haven't filled that 3rd year yet. So I can come back and we can add that 3rd year and lower the price if we wanted to for that 3rd year. So we didn't feel super comfortable in this environment doing a 3-year deal. And if you talk to some of the neighbors around you, we didn't feel comfortable at Springfield Township in having a new contract. We actually let their contract go into a hiatus until we could get a number that we felt comfortable bringing them. Because at the time that they were ending, back in the end of last year, none of these rates below 7 cents were available, and we didn't feel comfortable going back when we didn't know what the Duke rate was going to be and saying, okay, we want you to sign an 8.5 or 9 cent deal. So basically where we stand on that was we let about 10 communities go back to Duke, which was still in a 6.5 cent rate for the last 5 or 6 months, because their rate change hasn't caught up yet. That's not going to happen till May. So what we did was, since we couldn't get people a rate that we thought was comparable to Duke, we let them go back to the utility, and then have now restarted all those programs at the new rate, at that what is going to be, in our opinion, a significant discount for folks off of that heavy Duke rate. So hopefully I explain that. It's kind of the auction's kind of a complicated thing, but the bottom line is, we think there'll be significant savings off of that Duke rate. Now, it's not going to be what it was. We're in a different environment, but we think we can help out the many, many residents that we serve. That said, I think they're asking to give your city manager authority tonight to sign anything under 8.5. Now, I don't believe the rate that he'll sign will be anywhere near 8.5 cents. I think it's not moving at all. It actually kind of went down a little bit over the weekend, so we think that we'll get in a situation where, I don't think it'll be any higher than 6.88. So the ceiling, I think the highest rate that we would bring to the city tomorrow, because we're going to try to do it tomorrow, is 6.88 cents. That's what. But we've built in a buffer just in case, because if it's 6.91, I don't want to have to, make you guys go through this exercise again.
Okay. So,
This would, I'm sorry,
no, go ahead.
and this would be associated with this transition into this next 2-year agreement?
Yes, that'll start. So everybody's meter read will be in May, and if we stop the program, they would go back to Duke. Since we're going to have a seamless transition, they'll just move to. It may be the same supplier. There's still 3 in the game right now. We're kind of squeezing them right now, so it could be the same supplier or one of 2 others that are still in the process of bidding.
This the option of the 2-year better position the city to not do the 3 because we perceived it as may even lower itself.
Well, if we see it, because we see all these forwards, right? It's just like it's a commodity. It's just like a stock. Right now, it's only like a tenth of a penny lower. We don't want to waste that by pulling the trigger now, because we're entering a high demand period this summer. So hopefully we can take a look at it in August, September, October, and it'll have fallen off. But we watch it every day. We have 40-some communities, 60-some programs that we monitor every day. So the second, if we see something that's worth grabbing, we'll call you. And the resolution also gives the administration the opportunity to extend that.
So, how confident are you saying that you believe it will get close to 6.8?
I'm real confident.
And okay,
The end of the negotiations will occur tomorrow by noon. I'll be calling the administration shortly thereafter with a number and a contract that we can send to your attorney to have him review it, so that we don't lose it before the end of the day.
all right. And then just if you could ballpark it, or just to recap, I guess some of what Wright was saying. You were saying that the average home in Forest Park was saving roughly $250 annually.
So we were at 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Is that what we were at?
Yes, the majority of the people in Forest Park right now are on 4.56 cents per kilowatt hour. And like Dan said, it's going up, but we're going to try to get it as low as we can and get it in a fixed rate at a top end at 6 cents, around 7 cents, give or take, in that area, believing that Duke Energy will go higher than that, like maybe 2 or 3 cents more is what he's beginning to believe. and a 2-year contract with the what, in 2 years, because if something happens, Dan tried to explain it to me, there are a lot of variables out there right now that we're not really sure which way they're going to swing. So if we can lock in now with 7 cents, give or take, and then something breaks in our favor, that maybe we can sign an extension that could possibly lower it a little bit more, that would give us an option if we only do 2 years and save that 3rd year in case something really happens in our favor.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but when we were, this was still natural gas. So when we were going into the winter, we were predicting that Duke rates would go up, and then we still came in at a less rate, correct?
This is the new natural gas contract.
Right. For last year.
We signed it in October. It was about $1.02 per CCF when we signed, and our contract was 83.9 cents CCF, so it was about a 20 cent difference. And it's a fixed rate for 2 years, the 83.9. The next month, I believe December was like $1. In January, from my records anyway, it was around 88 cents or 89 cents. A little higher than that. So all 3 months, the first 3 months of the contract for natural gas so far has been under. Right. But again, I can't stress enough, and it took me a while to wrap my head around this, is that, yeah, one goal is to be lower. Try to develop a contract that will save our residents money. But the other goal that is, if not more important, is to stabilize the cost, the energy cost, so that our residents will not be blindsided by very high monthly energy bills.
Right. And then we would still be under, even though we're using a different energy supplier, but we are using the service line from Duke.
Yes.
We're still estimated at being lower than if you were getting your service line and energy from Duke.
So they're the service part of it.
Right.
Okay. All we're doing is changing the energy cost. So if you're on even billing, that doesn't change. If you have a power outage, you call Duke. Nothing changes with regard to that, but that one line item that we are trying to control.
Right.
Which is we started our program, I believe, in October was the first
For natural gas. Right.
gas, and I think it was like $1.20 or something like that in October.
Might have been.
We didn't use very much, but I think you're going to find when you look back at this winter that we stabilized and we saved a good deal of money for folks. And then right now it's so mild. We're not, winters, we'll have the terrible storm in 2 weeks, but winter's pretty much over. And as far as buying energy for folks.
Yeah. But I was saying though, because as the utility, there's always that service line fee.
Right. And you're exactly right. A lot of people just look at the bill and they think, oh my God, we signed a contract with this energy company and it just exploded. Yeah, it's very important to know that the bill is really in 2 parts. One part is for infrastructure. So for electricity, it's the transformers, the poles, the wires. You always pay Duke that. No matter who's supplying you the energy, you're always paying Duke for that. Same thing for natural gas. The pipes that, get it to your house. You've got to pay for that. So there's no way around it. The only thing that these aggregation contracts cover is the actual energy. So the electricity that they're supplying to push through the infrastructure. So yeah, Duke Energy, we can't do anything about that. We can only do the supplier cost.
I just wanted that distinction made because some people still look at their bill, see Duke on there, but if we have a different energy supplier and we're at a lower rate, everybody's already paying the service line fee anyway. But since we're at a lower rate, we can anticipate. Let me be careful. We can anticipate that your overall bill can still be lower because of the energy supplier's rate is lower.
Yes.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, delivery is uniform. So we all pay the same delivery per CCF or per kilowatt hour.
might want to speak a little bit about the program itself.
Okay, and that's very important. When these programs first started, like in 2004, somewhere in the turn of the century, it used to be you have to decide, was it opt out or opt in? Did I say something wrong?
No, you said turn of the century. I was expecting a wagon train to
I am kind of old. But right. So you really didn't have a choice. The contract either was is opt in or an opt out, and the way it is involved. And one of the things that attracted us to Energy Alliance Incorporated was that they guaranteed that whatever contracts are signed, that the residents would have an option to either opt in, opt out, no cost for doing either one. So, but it is an opt-in contract. That means those people that are already on the Constellation contract will be. You have to opt out of the thing, right?
Yeah, but
You're just moved into the contract.
So in the next 30 days, once we get a contract, master service agreement signed, there'll be letters that go out to every resident. They'll have the opportunity to opt out at that time. That's every eligible resident. If they're already in a third-party contract, they won't get a letter.
Right.
So as soon as that's over, that's a required period by the state of Ohio to do that period of time. And then after that period of time, in the contract that we will sign with the master service agreement with whoever that supplier will be, in that agreement, all your residents will be able to come and go as they please at any time. There's nobody gets caught in this thing and can't get out. It's basically a revolving door program. And they'll get the letter initially, and then if they call Wright or Wright call our offices, we'll arrange for them to be either put in or removed from the program.
Well, I get it. Does anybody else have any other questions for Mr. Deter or Wright? Yeah.
Is it an opportunity for us to have maybe like a I guess common statement or something that can actually be said to residents that may contact us as a council person or as a neighbor, that we would kind of like have a common script in a way to where we're saying the same thing and maybe not saying things in one way.
Among your members, yes, I can put something together for you if you would like. And I'll be sending something out on the email to all the residents that I have on there and on Facebook and
Okay.
Forest Park News. I'll have something that hopefully they'll understand and know that it's coming down the pike.
Okay. Yeah. Good. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you both.
Okay.
Right. I have to say I'm always impressed by the level of detail and thoroughness to your presentations. You didn't even have a slide, but I still get it.
Miracles do happen. I'm glad that. And if you do have a question, feel free to either call me, drop by the office, whatever, and we'll make sure that you understand it thoroughly. Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right, so that is the last item under presentation, so that concludes item number 3 on the agenda. So moving on to item number 4, which is communications from the public. So this is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council or to ask questions of concern to them. So when recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. Council meetings are tape recorded for ease of transcription, and comments are limited to 5 minutes. So, is there anyone from the public who would like to speak? Okay. All right, we can move on. That concludes item number 4 on the agenda. Moving on to item number 5, which is the reports from standing committees. And we are going to start with Councilmember Clark.
I don't have a report at this time, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
I have nothing to add to the work session.
All right, thank you for that. Moving on to Councilmember Harrison.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the 8th of February, we did have our civil service meeting. We did welcome our newest member, Jerry Arnold. I'm thankful for her input. And we did approve job descriptions for fire inspector and dispatcher and whatnot. But one of the comments that came from some of the residents that were there is about how information is pushed out to the residents. And believe it or not, people wanted to go back to some type of paper communication,
Yeah,
right?
it was like a newsletter.
Newsletter or something like that. Yes, sir. So that was the biggest thing we took out of it. But it was a very robust meeting. Everybody's very engaged. It lasted about an hour or so, but that's all I have from that.
All right, thank you for that, council member. And I don't have any work session items. Would you like to add any?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Yeah, we were supposed to be looking into that, bringing that newsletter back. So, because I remember it was stopped because was it before the recession or before COVID? Was that discontinued?
They quit mailing it for budgetary reasons before COVID.
Before COVID, okay.
So we are going to mail out the next copy, which is actually being written as we sit here.
Okay. All right. So then moving on.
Taking the feedback from council and other members of
Yeah.
the public who would rather have it mailed to them because at least once a year, and we're going to try and do it quarterly.
Okay. Thank you.
And mail it. It'll be available throughout the community as well.
Good.
Yeah, there was a few residents who asked me about that, so we are bringing that back. Moving on to Second Vice Mayor Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time.
All right, thank you, Dr. Moore. I don't have any work session items for you. Would you like to add any?
No, I do not.
All right, thank you. And then moving on to Councilmember Sylvester.
Mr. Mayor, I do not have a report.
All right. All right, thank you for that. Do you have any work session items to add?
No, sir.
All right. That concludes item number 5, reports from standing committees. Moving on to item number 6, which is the mayor's report. I do not have an official report, but I am pleased to announce that we have been getting a lot of media attention as the city of Forest Park. I was actually interviewed for just a profile, a Black History Month profile from Channel 5 News. So we do thank Channel 5 for paying attention to the great, wonderful things that are happening out here in Forest Park. And I told them all about our wonderful council members and all of the incredible developments that we have. So residents should stay tuned to the different media outlets to hear about all of the progress that we are making on not only bringing back things like the newsletter, but the housing developments that will be you'll start to see, as well as road improvements and everything else. And that concludes my report. I do not have any work session items to add. So we're going to conclude item number 6 on the agenda, move on to item number 7, which is the city manager's report. Don?
Well, I'll try and keep it nice and quick today. I want to bring attention to the community that there's something called the 513 Relief Bus, which is a Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services and all kinds of services, quite frankly, that they're going to bring out. Hamilton County bought the bus through their COVID funds, and they're bringing it to our city tomorrow, actually, between 10 and 3 at the Senior Center. And the good part about that is it's not only is it a place to learn what you could qualify for, things that you may need help for, it's actually a place that's going to be staffed with personnel who can actually take your applications and help you right there in the bus. So I want to thank Trevina, Councilmember Adams, for helping to arrange that, and it's going to be a great benefit for our community, and I think it'll be a great benefit for the region as well in the northern parts of Hamilton County. You don't have to go downtown now to apply for services, and this bus will be out and about, and we're happy to have it here and host it here in our community tomorrow, again from 10 to 3 p.m. We're doing an RFP also, which is a request for proposals for our property and casualty insurance, which is coming due. That'll be on March 13th. We'll have proposals for the renewal of our property and casualty insurance that will be opening on March 13th. And I did talk to some folks at the beautification committee last week, and they wanted me to remind everyone that they need volunteer judges. for their volunteer committee. And that's also a good segue into the fact that we need volunteers through all of our committees, Quality of Life Committee, or if you want to be a volunteer, if you want to help out the community, if you just want to be a part of it, feel free to volunteer and give us a call here at City Hall, and we'll put you in touch with the folks. But we need some volunteer judges for the upcoming Beautification Committee Awards. So that's it for this evening.
All right. Thank you for that, Don. I did look at, I spoke to Councilmember Adams about the 513 mobile relief bus. So Hamilton County Job and Family Services coming, but then also the Urban League will be on the bus. And then also one of our own residents who has your priority health care is going to be out there, and that's at the senior center, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Between 10 and 3.
10 and 3. Making sure. All right, so that concludes item number 7. Moving on to item number 8, which is our other reports, and we're going to start with our Clerk of Council, Mrs. Takia Bailey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance numbers 08 through 2023, 08-2023 through 10-2023, and resolutions number 05-2023 through 09-2023 were posted as required.
All right, thank you for that, Mrs. Bailey. Moving on to item number 9, which is unfinished business and general orders. So I need a motion to suspend. Is there a motion?
A motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read by title only ordinance numbered 03-2023 through 07-2023 for the second time by title only. These ordinances were read for the first time by title only on February 6, 2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, motion to suspend passes. Will the clerk please read ordinance number 03-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 03-2023, an ordinance establishing the City of Forest Park Waycross Residential Incentive District Fund.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move that we adopt ordinance number 03-2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, is there any further discussion?
This is a part of the development process that's going to take place with our Waycross Residential District Improvement. So it's one of an additional that's going to follow with other ordinance. So with that, I move that we adopt the ordinance 03-2023.
Okay, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, ordinance number 03-2023 passes 5-0. Will the clerk please read the next ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 04-2023, an ordinance establishing the City of Forest Park Omniplex Tax Increment Financing Fund.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, move to adopt on this ordinance number 04-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Other than it follows the same process with the funding tax increment.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 04-2023 passes 5-0. Will the clerk please read the next ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 05-2023, an ordinance establishing the City of Forest Park Cameron Residential Incentive District Fund.
Or is there a motion?
Yes, I move that we adopt on ordinance number 05-2023.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
For this, the Cameron Park development, so this fund will support that part of the process.
Okay, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
All right, ordinance number 05-2023 passes 5-0. Moving on, First Vice Mayor Holt is not here. Will the clerk please read this next motion by title only?
Ordinance number 06-2023, an ordinance amending Chapter 150 Land Usage regarding special exceptions and conditional uses.
Okay, is there a motion, Dr. Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt ordinance number 06-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No, just a simple name change from special exemption to conditional uses.
Okay, thank you for that, Dr. Moore. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 06-2023 passes 5-0. All right, moving on, will the clerk please read the next ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 07-2023, an ordinance amending section 37.02 of the Forest Park Code of Ordinances in order to increase the number of commissioners for the Economic Development Commission from 7 members to 9.
Yes. I move that we adopt ordinance number 07-2023.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Just for the public, our Economic Development Commission is an advisory committee that works in tandem with the city. It is a body that consists of residents just like you, working with council members and also our Economic Development Manager to not only review different business opportunities that are coming to the city, but to review tax or incentives to expand those businesses. So traditionally, it has always been 7 members, but considering we know that we have a lot of expertise from different members in the community who know about economic development, who know about attracting businesses, who know about retaining businesses, we are, like the city manager was saying earlier, we are encouraging members of the community to step up and volunteer for this commission to lend that expertise. So it was 7 members, and we want to expand it to 9 because we would like to hear from you. What type of businesses do you want to see? What type of businesses do you want to stay here to grow? So that's generally what this is about. We're just adding members to this body. There's always a long line of people who want to join it, but it's always full. So that's why we are expanding it. And with that, I would urge adoption. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Okay, ordinance number 07-2023 passes 5-0. And that concludes unfinished business. Moving on to item number 10, which is new business. And I'm going to need a motion to suspend.
A motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the first time by title only ordinance number 08-2023 and 10-2023 and vote tonight. These ordinances were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, motion to suspend passes 5-0. So will the clerk please read ordinance number 08-2023 by title only?
Ordinance number 08-2023, declaring improvements to parcel of real property located in the city of Forest Park, Ohio, to be a public purpose under section 5709-40 of the Ohio Revised Code, Cameron Incentive District TIF, exempting such improvements from real property taxation, authorizing the execution of a tax incentive agreement and a development agreement, and such other documents as may be necessary, establishing a tax increment equivalent fund.
All right, thank you for that, Ms. Bailey. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move that we adopt ordinance number 08-2023.
Is there a second? All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Well, in reference to this ordinance, the ordinance creates a residential incentive district for the two undeveloped parcels of land, which is approximately 15 acres at the corner of Sharon and Waycross Road. The property is owned by the city, and the city is developing a land purchase and development agreement with the developer to build townhomes and ranch homes totaling 98 new homes in Forest Park. The district is located within a community reinvestment district that will last for 15 years with 100% home value abatement. The tax increment financing district will add an additional layer to support the needed and make necessary improvements for the district. And the TIF will last for 10 years and will not require school compensation. So based on what we received and what each of us have been given information on in the process that we're looking forward to moving forward with a motion that we adopt ordinance number 08-20.
Thank you for that, council member. It's a 30-year TIF. Okay.
Yeah, the write-up is,
Just a typo.
30?
yes.
Just a minor typo.
Well, it was
Okay.
going to be a 10, and because we got this compensation and everything, we ended up doing a 30.
Okay, good. All right.
But there's still no need for a school compensation agreement because it is a non-school TIF.
Right. Okay. And you urge adoption. So will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance number 08-2023 passes 5-0. Moving on to ordinance number 09-2023. Would the clerk please read that by title only?
Ordinance number 09-2023, declaring improvements to parcels of real property located in the city of Forest Park, Ohio, to be a public purpose under section 5709.40 of the Ohio Revised Code, Waycross Incentive District TIF, exempting such improvements from real property taxation, authorizing the execution of a tax incentive agreement and a service agreement, and such other documents as may be necessary, establishing a tax increment equivalent fund.
All right. Thank you for that, Mrs. Bailey. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move that we adopt ordinance number 09-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just in parallel with the written comments of this ordinance, that it creates a residential incentive district for 35 acres of vacant land owned by Waycross FP LLC along Waycross Road near Lincolnshire Drive. This project is located within the Community Reinvestment District, CRA, and we utilize special assessments and tax increment financing services, payments to create the public improvements needed. The CRA will last for 15 years at 100% of the home value. The special assessments are proposed to be no more than 50% of the abatement home's value. This TIF is noted for 30 years and will require school compensation for the TIF service payment. And with those details provided, I move that we adopt the ordinance number 09-2023.
All right. Thank you for that, council member. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Moore,
No.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinance number 09-2023 passes 4-1. All right, moving on, will the clerk please read the next ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 10-2023, an ordinance amending appropriation for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Forest Park, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
All right, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
I also move to adopt ordinance number 10-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
We've had previous ordinance that deals with changes of allocations of the budget. The area of the budget reduction is in the solid waste fund. The additional costs in teacher resources grant fund with an increased interest by high school teachers in the program. And additional costs occurred in purchases of a ladder truck. So new contracts are signed in February, and ClearGov for additional budget software purchases. So it's a process that will be revisited with as we move through various points of council. So with that, I move that we adopt ordinance number 10-2023.
All right, thank you for that, council member. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, ordinance passes 5-0. All right, and next item, we're gonna go to resolution, so I need another motion to suspend.
Motion to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution number 05-2023 through 09-2023 by title only. These resolutions were posted 6 days prior to the meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Will the clerk please read resolution number 05-2023 by title only?
Resolution number 05-2023, authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract between the City of Forest Park and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated, Police Dispatchers Clerks.
Okay, is there a motion, Councilmember Harrison?
I make a motion to approve or to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated, police dispatchers / clerks, in accordance with the terms and conditions as described with the contract that has been presented to us.
All right. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
I have none at this time.
All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, resolution passes 5-0. So will the clerk please will the clerk please read this next resolution by title only?
Resolution number 06-2023, amended the resolution setting rates of pay for civil and non-civil service employees.
All right, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move that we adopt resolution number 06-2023.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
No discussion.
All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
All right, motion passes 5-0. Moving on, will the clerk please read this next resolution by title only?
Resolution number 07-2023, resolution authorizing consent to the Ohio Department of Transportation to furnish and install U.S. bicycle route signage.
Okay, sorry about this. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I move that we adopt on resolution number 07-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Just let old I do what they do. And, bring us a good addition to a bike trail. So.
All right, thank you for that, Councilmember. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution passes 5-0. Don, do you need to step out for a second?
Well, I was perfectly fine till that water.
You got something, you got an issue with bike signage?
Yeah, well, I love that.
Okay. All right. So will the clerk please read this next resolution by title only?
Resolution number 08-2023, a resolution requesting the Hamilton County Auditor to place special assessments against various properties by the City of Forest Park Community Development.
Okay, is there a motion, Dr. Moore?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I move to adopt resolution number 08-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No, just routine city business related to assessments.
All right, thank you for that, Dr. Moore. Will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
All right, resolution passes 5-0. And will the clerk please read this next resolution by title only?
Resolution number 09-2023, resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement to purchase a mini hydraulic excavator for use by the Public Works Division through the state bidding process.
All right, is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, I motion that we adopt resolution number 09-2023.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No further discussion.
All right, hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion to adopt?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
All right, resolution passes 5-0. Moving on to the last resolution, will the clerk please read this resolution in full?
Resolution number 10-2023, a resolution to authorize the city manager to enter into an electric aggregation agreement with an electric supplier recommended by Energy Alliances Incorporated, the community's energy aggregation consultant. The city manager can execute a master service agreement not to exceed 8.5 cents per kilowatt. The city manager can enter into subsequent agreements with regards to this program to reduce costs as needed. Whereas the Ohio legislature has enacted electric deregulation legislation which authorized the legislative authorities of municipality, corporations, townships, and counties to aggregate the retail electric loads located in the respective jurisdictions and to enter into service agreements to facilitate for those loads the purchase and sale of electricity. And whereas the residents, businesses, and other electric consumers within the corporate limits of Forest Park, Ohio, have given permission to the city of Forest Park to aggregate the retail electricity loads on their behalf by passing an electric aggregation ballot issue. And whereas the city of Forest Park has successfully completed and submitted to the state of Ohio all required paperwork to become a certified competitive retail electric service provider in order to provide governmental aggregation services within the state of Ohio. Whereas Energy Alliance Incorporated has researched and provided the city of Forest Park with competitively bid electrical rates. Now therefore be it resolved by the city of Forest Park, by the council of the city of Forest Park, Ohio, Section 1, that the city manager is hereby authorized and directed to enter into an agreement with the supplier to be named later for electric supplies to the city of Forest Park Electric Aggregation Program. Section 2, that the city manager can enter into an electric master service agreement with an electric supplier recommended by Energy Alliance Incorporated not to exceed 8.5 cents per kilowatt beginning upon the expiration of the city's current electric master service agreement with Constellation. The city manager can further execute subsequent agreements as needed with regards to reducing electric costs. Section 3, that the agreement will consist of a opt-in contract with renewable energy options being designated as the default energy resource. Section 4, that any qualifying resident, businesses, and other electric consumers within the corporate limits of City of Forest Park can request at any time without cost to switch the type of energy resource used by contacting Energy Alliance Incorporated or the chosen supplier. Section 5, that any qualifying resident, businesses, and other electric consumers within the corporate limits of City of Forest Park can request at any time without cost to opt out by contacting Energy Alliances Incorporated or the chosen supplier. Section 6, that this resolution shall be in full force and take effect after its passage.
All right, thank you for that, Mrs. Bailey. All right, so as you just heard, the city will make this resolution available online for people to look at it in full. But as you heard and understand, the city is entering into a contract with the energy aggregation program that I know a lot of residents have asked us about. It is a opt-out program, so you are automatically enrolled into it unless you call the city directly to be removed from it. Essentially, if you heard the presentation earlier, as we enter those warmer months, our energy supplier is actually going to keep us at a lower rate than what Duke is projecting, what their natural energy rates will be. We've done this in the past with our both gas and electric. So this resolution is essentially authorizing our city manager to not exceed the higher rate that Duke is actually projecting to be at. So when we entered into this contract in the past, since 2019, every resident has saved on average $250 annually, and it's saved a total of almost nearly $1 million. So I know people are confused about the nature of the opt-out program, but this does save money. And if you have any questions, you can contact the city. But with that, I would urge adoption of this resolution.
Second.
It has been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk please call the roll on the motion?
Clark,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. All right, resolution number 10-2023 passes 5-0. And finally, I need a motion to receive the general fund summary report. Is there a motion, Councilmember Sylvester?
Yes, sir. Motion to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental report.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion?
No further discussion.
All right, hearing none, this could be a voice vote, so all those in favor, let it be known by the sound of voting aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none. All right, motion passes 5-0. So that concludes all business on the agenda. So is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? Is there any other business to come before the body? All right, hearing none. The 513 mobile relief bus will be here tomorrow between 10 and 3. 10 and 3 at the Senior Center at 11555. Is that Winton Road? 45240. So everyone have a good evening.